Listen, LeBron James is a great. He is a great basketball player, but he's over here talking about defund the police while he's being escorted to the arena covered by police.
So LeBron, like, okay,
just as long as you don't, you know what I mean?
Defund the police, just not my police.
Ice Cube was worried about black businesses,
and he was like, "What are y'all going to do?
What are you going to do?"
And he kept saying that, and then black people, got on Ice Cube, and they were like, "Well, you know, but you want Trump to win, man? You want Trump like that?" And he goes, "I don't care. It does not matter who wins.
If Trump loses, he said Trump will be out. All you care about is Trump getting out. That's going to be the first day.
Yeah.
What happens after that?
Thank you."
Conservative. Conservative sisters.
We must.
Conservative sisters.
People are going.
Some of the little white guys underneath my comment. You know, he said, "You never heard of a broke conservative? Only broke liberals. You go woke, you go broke."
People are gonna be looking at this video. They're gonna say, "They're a bunch of sellouts. They're sellouts. Is it goons?
A bunch of goons." Not subscribing to this.
What the hell am I subscribing?
Oh, we are victims.
Oh my God.
We're victims and oppressed. We're victims of the system.
Yeah. It was really annoying to me at first too when I was watching like Republicans talk about things like this, and I was agreeing with every single thing. Like, you know what I mean? The mentality of the way they're thinking, the mentality of what conservatives think. I'm like, no, they're right.
Yeah.
They're right, and I can sit here and say, you know, if you're Republican and you're black, you just are a sellout. But I can't really say that.
It's like listening.
They're literally right.
Right. I mean, sitting here listening, like talking to black people who want to tell me that rioting is right.
Yeah.
So
like,
what do you mean?
Get that.
Well, we're just rebelling against. You're rebelling against what? You're ruining your own neighborhood.
Yeah. I was watching.
What do you mean? Those jobs and stuff are part of that neighborhood that have been destroyed.
Yeah.
Those businesses are going to take their businesses out of that neighborhood, and then it's going to become a piece of crap neighborhood. You know, like that's what happens. What happens is the places like Target and you know, any kind of name grocery store, or when they're in those neighborhoods, they give jobs to the neighborhood. Well, if you go and riot and they ruin, they get their money and they leave, and then what? You've destroyed a whole neighborhood by trying to make some useless point.
I was listening to a podcast like a year ago, and there was a Republican and a Democrat talking about this very thing, because that rioting was happening. I don't think it was Mike Brown. It was one of them. It was one of those situations that happened, and then they did the riot. And the Republican was saying, but why are they messing up their own neighborhoods, right? And then the Democrats saying that we have to be loud. You know, we have to be loud. They're not listening to us when we're being quiet. They're not listening to us when we're being cordial. So this is their way of showing that this is their way of showing that you're going to listen to me and things are going to change. I'm going to burn this whole place down.
Right.
And the Republican guys like, no, what are you talking about? They're ruining things. These are people that are doing criminal activity.
And most people say, "Oh no, what we're really rioting are the big businesses like Walmart."
Oh, stop it!
And I was like, okay, but if you destroy Walmart and there's no grocery stores,
then what?
For miles,
it's just how it is.
You know, grandma can't go to the grocery store now.
Then what?
A woman that has kids can't go feed her kids. She's got to go all the way somewhere else to a whole nother neighborhood to buy groceries because you destroyed the one that's in the neighborhood. Yeah. Also, not to mention the jobs that are now lost because no one can go to work now.
But you know, what's his name was talking about this, Joe Rogan, where one of the reasons why he left LA or California was because the police were just letting them do whatever. The police no longer even cared about any of the stuff that was going on. They were literally just letting citizens do whatever the hell they want to do. And I'm someone who believes in law and order.
Yeah.
I believe...
If I call the cops, I want them to
I believe that you should have some type of law and order. Without that, it's chaos. Right? Now, we do know there's corrupt things that happen and all that. We know there's illegal stuff that happens with the police officers sometimes. We understand all of that. But we're just talking about just looking at this. And Joe was like, you cannot have a bunch of citizens... just ruining everything, and then you not do your job and arrest people. So Joe said, I can't live in a place where there is no law and order. And I'm sorry, what is that is correct.
And also,
that is correct.
Also unarmed does not mean not dangerous.
Right.
Because a lot of cops, the reason why they have to shoot you is because you went for their gun.
Yeah.
This happens a lot where unarmed people, they don't comply and they start trying to wrestle with the cop. And then the cop has to either tase them or if they come for their gun, they have to now shoot you.
Yeah.
And that sucks, but that is a fact of what happens. And so to me, we don't hear the whole story on the media.
No, it's not.
We get the highlights, but we don't really hear the entire story of what actually happened. But the truth is yeah, we gotta have law and order in our country. We can't just allow people to just be free to vandalize and do whatever you want. I mean, this isn't the purge.
Right.
You can't do this. And by the way, a lot of white cops don't even want to deal with black people. And that's a scary thought because a lot of black communities, especially like in Chicago, where those people in those communities, they need the cops. You defund the police in Chicago, and then you've just got criminals running the stage. You know what I mean? And so, right. I mean, you can't just get rid of the police. I think Ilhan Omar is trying to pass some stupid law where she doesn't want any cops anymore. What are you
saying,
girl?
See, this is the type of
that's lunacy.
But this is the type of foolishness that we're talking about.
A lot of white cops don't even want to arrest or even bother black people because they're afraid of being filmed and being used as some kind of prop for the media, and that's dangerous. Because if a black person really does need, because we kill each other more than white people kill us. So if I have to call the police on another black person and they don't come because they're afraid of dealing with their own safety as far as, losing their job or, because when this happens to the cops, when they get called out on the media, their faces get shown and they haven't been to court yet. So if you didn't do it or it wasn't your fault, people are still demonizing you.
You're already demonized.
You know what I mean? So they're afraid of that. They're like, I don't want to do that. And that's just a really sad and dangerous place to be because unfortunately there are a lot of black criminals.
Right.
Just because you're black doesn't mean that you're innocent.
Yeah, I think that's what they want though.
But that's
that's what they're trying to put out there though is that like all black people they're being picked on. It's like, no, but there are some black criminals still, right? I mean, like, what do you mean?
And that's my problem with Black Lives Matter is that they only focus on this.
Right.
When it is really, as far as black empowerment, it's really low on the totem pole as far as things like, single motherhood, father absence, education, things like that really hurt us.
Yeah, I don't think they prioritize.
Those guys, no, you don't. You make the media because you talk about police brutality. But you don't talk about any other part that we do to ourselves. And see, I don't really like taking personal responsibility away from people. I think when you take personal responsibility from people and you start trying to find places for people to be blamed, like, blame white people for black people's problems. Blame straight white men for gay men. You know what I mean? Things like that. Blame men for the reason why women are oppressed or something like that. I think when you don't take personal responsibility for what you do in your own life, and you're always looking for someone to blame, then I think that then you are sort of a slave.
Yeah.
Because part of being free is being able to take personal responsibility for your own issues. And when you don't do that, to me, then you are some sort of slave.
I don't know if they want us to take personal responsibility. They want to be the saviors, Right. And so they don't want that progression. Taking personal responsibility is a level of progression that most people should have, but a lot of people don't. So, but this is what keeps us stupid. It's because what keeps us voting one way and being one that we don't want to take that personal responsibility.
I mean, Donald Trump got the woman vote between him and Hillary. He won the woman vote. Yeah. And so all of these liberal women were all, I don't have any respect for any of these women that voted for him. Why? Because they decided to think have critical thinking, and they didn't just pull the lever because Hillary was a woman. Because that is why most people were voting for her. They were voting for her because she is a woman. And in fact, her tagline was, I'm with her. It wasn't Make America Great Again or, Yes We Can, like Obama, or even like her husband. I forget what his was, but it's always something, we're always talking about making America great. Hers was I'm with her.
If that's not the most self-centered
and arrogant,
right,
thing that you can say, that was it. I'm with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so, no, I'm not with her. I'm not.
And it really does. In this type of talk, it does kind of like bother. I mean, I would think that it would bother like the Democratic Party. We're their base.
Yeah.
So Karen and I will be their. That's who they're pandering to, us, right? It's just that we're just like, no, don't think so. There are some people that are waking up to it.
Yeah. I mean, but this is the reason why the media talks about Martin Luther King but not Malcolm X so much. Because Martin Luther King was a Democrat, and he did hurt a lot of black people into the Democratic Party. And Malcolm X was telling you to be careful with the Democrats.
Be careful with the media. Be careful with the Democrats because
the media will have you hating people that you should listen to, and have you liking people that you should be cautious of. And if that's not the truth, I don't know what is. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. So when that's what swung me a different way, because I started to see it really was the media.
Mm-hmm.
Like what really changed everything is not necessarily the parties. It was the media that made me see political stuff, how they were behaving politically. I'm like, why are they so slanted?
Right.
And that's what made me think, okay, well, maybe I should be looking at the whole picture, not just one picture, which is what I was doing for a very long time. Just looking at one picture because, again, you're black, you're Democrat.
And then every time Democrats lose something, they don't just accept that they lost because they had a bad campaign.
Yeah.
They start screaming racism. Sexism.
Right.
Everything is an ism.
Ism, yeah.
And they just don't want to say we lost because our campaign wasn't good enough.
And we had
our platform did not. We couldn't sell our platform.
Yeah, we had a terrible candidate. I mean, look at Joe Biden, for instance. Like, I mean, come on, you guys. Come on.
See, he went to the climate.
He went to sleep.
He went to the climate change. What is it? Expo thing, and he fell asleep. All day long, Democrats talk about climate change like it's the most important thing in the world. We're not going to have a country. We're not going to have a planet in 10 years. And this guy is literally on camera, sleep, with his arms folded, so that the whole world can see. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like little stuff like that they do, telling everybody to wear a mask. Why, telling everybody they need to wear a mask no matter where they go, even if they're double vaccinated. And then, Obama gives a party with 600 people and he's not wearing one, and neither are any of his guests.
See the contradiction?
The arrogance. The arrogance. Nancy Pelosi shutting down San Francisco, where she's from, and then telling everybody they can't go to the hairdresser, and then she gets caught going to the hairdresser with no mask on. Little stuff like that. It's just like I can't be a Democrat.
Yeah.
I can't. Now, you guys can do whatever you want. It's really up to you. But I always, even just before you start pulling levers for people and believing what they say because your favorite hip hop artist said they liked them, make sure that the values of the party go along with the values of your life.
Yeah, and not just the celebrity of it all. Because that's what happens is that they put the candidates up there, and then they have a bunch of celebrity backings, and all you can see is celebrity. You're not paying attention to the candidate and what their policies are.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said that I believe that before you go into the voting booth and pull a lever for whoever you want to pull it for, I think you should know three things, at least three main things about each candidate, policy-wise. Foreign, domestic, whatever. I feel like you should know something about everybody up there before you go and do anything. If they did that, and that became like
people wouldn't be voting.
You have to, know some things.
You have to know
first.
3 facts about the person that you're going to vote for. And most people wouldn't even be able to vote.
Most people wouldn't even be able. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to vote. A lot of people just don't know. You're just being told who you're supposed to vote for,
but
you're not being told to think for yourself. And I, again, one of my favorite quotes is, "In the age of information, ignorance is a choice."
I mean, you're right. I've always been the kind of person, though, that I've been an independent thinker, even when I was a kid.
Right.
I really don't like someone telling me how to believe. I don't care if we're both women and we're both black. I don't care about that. What I care about is what I think.
Yeah.
And what I find valuable in this world, because all black people are not the same.
No.
We are not the same. We're not a monolith.
Yeah.
We are not the same. All Spanish people aren't the same. All gay people don't think the same. There are gay Republicans.
Yeah.
Not all gay people think the same. There's this sort of thinking that because you're black and I'm black, we have the same life. No, we don't.
And people always think that Republicans and conservatives think that they're all rich people. If you're a black conservative, you're rich.
No,
and that's a big.
I think there are probably more rich liberal, more rich liberal blacks than there are rich liberal white rich conservative blacks.
I think you have to be true to who you are, but I think a lot of black people, if you really think about your values, it won't line up.
Yeah.
And what happens is that even some black people, when they find out that their values don't line up with Democratic values, they still vote Democrat because they're black. This is where we're at.
Well, they just don't want. They just don't want to admit it publicly.
But publicly,
you know what I mean. And look, I honestly don't really care what people think about me because I have to be able to sleep at night. So to me, I don't care that there are people that I like that are famous. Mm-hmm. And I don't agree with anything they say politically. Yeah. You know what I mean? LeBron James is a great basketball player. Mm-hmm. But he's over here talking about defund the police while he's being escorted to the arena covered by police.
So LeBron.
Just as long as you know what I mean?
Defund the police. Just not my police, but defund all for the people out here. No, okay.
But not the police that escort me into the arena because I'm so famous. I mean, Michelle Obama talking to Gayle King, talking about, I'm afraid of police brutality, but I'm afraid of Malia and Sasha getting pulled over. It's like, girl, first of all, your kids and you will forever, for the rest of your life, be escorted by, what is it?
Secret Service.
Secret Service. Nobody, you are the most and what makes me sick about that is she knows that. She simply said that.
It's just pandering.
It's just pandering. She simply said that. Your kids are not like other kids. Like that.
I think it
makes me sick.
It's almost embarrassing that she said that.
And Gayle King's just sitting there.
What are y'all talking? What are all of you talking about?
What are you talking about? You live in a gated. She lives on Martha's Vineyard.
Right.
You know what I mean? You guys are not around like regular people. You know what I mean? You're around only these rich, wealthy, mostly white.
You guys are far removed.
Far removed. And talking about she's afraid that her daughter's going to get pulled over by police and police brutality. No one's going to beat your kids. And you know that. That's what makes me sick about the whole thing. Is that Michelle Obama knows that. But she just said that because she's pandering. And that's what the Democratic Party does. Yeah. It keeps pandering and makes all black people feel like victims. Mm-hmm. So they'll pull that lever and they'll always vote. And guess what? It always works because we're still at the 90th percentile voting one way. We have no leverage. No. They have no fear of ever losing us. Nope. And they don't do anything for us. They're never going to do anything for us.
Ice Cube, y'all know, he did a video and he talked about, he wants to know what the black agenda, what they have in store for the whole black, a community, so, and he was asking questions and hard questions he wanted to know. And they weren't saying anything that sounded good to him.
Well, they funneled a large transfer of money to the wealthiest people in our country. Mm-hmm. And what's his name? Ice Cube was worried about black businesses,
and he was like, "What are y'all going to do?
What are you going to do?"
And he kept saying that, and then black people, got on Ice Cube, and they were like, "Well, would you want Trump to win, man? You want Trump like that?" And he goes, "I don't care. It does not matter who wins.
If Trump loses, he said Trump will be out. All you care about is Trump getting out. That's going to be the first day. Yeah. What happens after that? You have to look at politics as what's going to happen as we go along. Right. Not just they literally had everybody so angry with Trump that they didn't even have to have a platform. Right. And now Joe Biden has won, and so much he's like single-handedly ruined this country.
Like he's done so much in so little time. So
3 years
so much wrong in so little time.
But we were saying about Joe Biden before everybody was all, I'm going to vote for because I got to get Trump out. I was like, you don't know who Joe Biden is. Yeah. This is the man he's another architect of the crime bill.
Yeah, and also y'all want to talk about racism? Really? Okay. I mean, y'all want to get on Trump about racism?
Joe Biden is not a black people's friend.
You guys obviously don't know. A lot of people don't know his history. I mean, clearly. They don't know his history. The words that come out of his mouth are just kind of shameful. Yeah. Shameful, and it's 100% against black people.
Well, I mean, it's just like Hillary Clinton calling black youth super predators.
Yeah, super predators.
And people just couldn't wait to vote for her.
Right.
She's because the other person's racist.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Stop it. No, stop it. Come on.
It's just like.
But now people. So let's fast forward to like now. Black Democrats are starting to say, what the hell is Biden doing in there? Everyone was trying to get Trump out. Trump's bad. Trump's bad. Fine. Do whatever. Everyone was so into Trump's antics. It's calling him names. Like, what are we in grade school? Mm-hmm. Was this a recess? We're making fun of pick up somebody at recess? Who cares what he looks like? What is he going to do? Trump, Biden, whoever. Who are they going to do? And I feel like no one was looking at that. They just want to get Trump out. And now he's out. And now we have...
Well.
Like, it doesn't matter. Our Constitution helps us, so it doesn't really matter if a politician's racist or not.
Yeah.
There was that whole thing when people used to say, "Oh, well, Lincoln didn't like black people." That wasn't the point.
So
we weren't honoring. Slavery was not honoring its own. Our country wasn't honoring its own Constitution.
Yeah.
So because like the North, they had to free the slaves.
Right.
In order for us to honor our own Constitution, it didn't make a difference that he liked black people or not. Even poor whites could think, well, if they did that to black people, then who's to say that when you're poor, this can't also happen to you? You know what I mean? So that's what that was mostly about. So it's like, oh, Lincoln don't like black. I was like, that's not even the point.
But it was even saying that. This is even like that's then, and even now that we do things like this, where we get so emotional. When we talk about this, it's emotional. We black people, we have such an emotion when it comes to politics. It's not emotion. This is literally politics. I mean, like you can't get less emotional than with politics, right? It's really just what it is. And I think that what happens is black people they don't like us. They don't. I'm like, stop it. Like, stop all this emotion.
Too emotional.
You know what I mean? We have to be more.
To me,
business-minded when in this situation.
And politics is business for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not emotional. It's business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because politics is not supposed to help. It's not supposed to fix all your problems.
No.
You're supposed to be in charge.
You're supposed to be in charge of that.
And that's why I'm more conservative, because I think that I am more in charge of my life than the politicians that get put in office.
Right.
They make policies, but I'm more in charge of my day-to-day, what I can do for myself on a day-to-day basis. I'm not looking for someone else to do it for me. And so this is where...
And I know people who are looking for them to do it for them.
Yeah, they're handouts.
Yeah.
They want handouts.
And I think, and I've always felt that, having too much big government very heavily involved with everything that you do, in the long run, that's going to be something you're going to regret. Because if they can do one thing, they can do everything. I mean, look at this mandate thing. Look what they're trying to pull.
Yeah.
Look what they're trying to pull.
I mean, before Biden was elected, him, Fauci, Pelosi, all of them said that they would never mandate anything because it's against our Constitution. We cannot make people take an injection. We can't do it. They waited. They didn't say that while he was running.
Yeah.
They waited till after he had won, and now what changed?
A
complete shift
Right.
had changed. All of them said when Trump was in office that none of them were going to take the the vaccine because Trump's vaccine. I'm not going to take his vaccine. All of them said that, and what changed? Same vaccine. What changed? What changed? The politics changed.
I'm not really sure where people are what black people are wanting, what they're getting out of the Democratic Party. I don't know. I the only thing I can think is that they're not doing research, your own research. You know what I mean? And that would be the only thing, or it's just tradition.
Yeah,
because people do. Tradition.
Even Republicans vote.
Yeah,
Republican because their parents voted.
Yeah,
tradition. Voted Republican. But my whole family's Democrat. So
I think Danielle almost all of my
we're like freaks in our family.
Everyone. I think that I would say I'm just going to just throw this. Okay, so I would say probably over 90% of the people I know are Democrats.
Yeah.
Whether you're white or black or whatever, it doesn't matter. Most of the people I know are Democrats. And that's just that. And I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I don't get why. If you know information, if you don't know information, I get why.
Yeah,
I get why because then you're just tradition voting. You're staying with that.
You're black. Why would you vote white people? You're black. Why would you vote Why would you vote Republican? But why shouldn't I? And then they can never give you an answer.
Right.
They can just say, but because of Trump. Trump's not in office anymore.
So now what?
Nothing. Crickets. How about you not tell me how I should vote? White girl.
Right.
I'm not a slave anymore. We're not slaves
anymore.
Didn't happen. Okay, I can think for myself. We're educated now. educated, we can own land, we can become successful, wealthy people, we can be middle class if we want, we can live in any neighborhood we want to live in, we can go to any grocery store, we can drink from the same water fountains. So other than that, then it's just you not want to do your best. I don't know what more you're trying to look for here.
Karen and I are kind of like I guess we're just part of the group of people, black people, who just believe in conservative values, and I don't get Democrats.
And let me tell you, when I talk to white conservatives, they treat you like a person.
They do.
They don't treat you like a black woman. They don't treat you like a woman, but they treat you like a person.
Our Uber driver.
Oh, yeah.
Our Uber driver today, our Lyft driver, he's a young white man.
25 years old.
25 years old, young white guy. And we were talking, and about the whole mask. Because we got into the car, and he was like, I said, oh, do you want us to wear a mask? I was asked that before, right? I forgot I didn't have it on. He's like, no, I don't give a crap about this damn mask, right? So we started talking to him about this whole thing, and his thoughts about the mask thing were exactly as ours. His thoughts about
just the political family and everything.
And it was literally like us. We could not be further away from culturally.
We were literally cracking up in his car.
Yes.
And the thing is like he didn't sit there and look at us like two black girls.
No.
He was just talking to us as conservatives. I feel like when I'm around liberal whites, I feel like I'm black. Only. Like you're black. You need us. You need us. You can't live without us, black girl.
I feel like I'm being pandered to with liberal white people.
Like it does. I feel like we can't live without them.
It's really weird. It's like it's a feeling that you get.
I got you.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
And I'm like, get out of here.
Black Lives Matter. They all wear the Black Lives Matter shirts and all these, Black Girls Rock, and and while guys, I know how this is going to sound to most people though. This is going to sound like, oh my God, these two sellout girls, but it's not. It's just us thinking for ourselves.
If you think I'm a sellout because I think for myself, I mean,
we dedicate most of our videos trying to uplift the black community and talk about real issues within the black community. So it's not like, but
like I said before, all the things that I've gone through in my life, it's not because I'm black or because I'm a woman. It's because I made mistakes.
True.
That's it. It's not.
And we talked a lot about our personal
and many people make mistakes. Everybody will make mistakes in their life. That's part of being human. Right. So it's not because you're a woman. It's not because you're black. It's not because you're Asian. It's not because you're gay. It's because you made some mistakes and now just own up to that. There are what they say the outcome of your life is like 10% of what happens to you. 90% of what happens to you is you.
Right. And I think if you really are interested in it, then do your own research. You'll see. You'll be shocked. If you're a black person watching this, which most people that watch us are black, I think almost everybody is black that watches us. Just do your own research and you'll be shocked how conservative you are. But let's know what you think. Are you a black conservative? Are you willing to admit that you are? Because some people are not even willing to admit they're black.
Or are you okay with people's right to choose?
Do you think that that's kind of like a sellout? Like when you look at us talking about this. Like when we look at this whole video and talk about this, right?
Do I look like a sellout to you?
Are we the face of sellouts?
Right.
Because we have different political ideas. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And that's it. Everybody have a really good day. Bye.